listen to me as I slow it down. Can't tell yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Nitty Gritty Talk. We are on episode 8. So this month, really the next 2 months, is going to be absolutely insane. So on Friday, so that is in 2 days, Jacob's dad is coming down for about like a week and a half. And then also on Friday, one of Jacob's friend is coming down for just the weekend. Which, bless his soul, because there's only one guest bed in our house. And Jacob's dad gets seniority and gets that bed. So Jacob's friend is going to have to either sleep on the couch or he's going to have to sleep in the workout room on the hard rubber floor. So I think he's going to go with the couch. But he's going to have to fight with the cat at night for space on the couch. So hopefully he doesn't mind. So at the end of April, we have another set of friends coming down. But they're at least a couple, so they can share the spare room. But they're coming down from Colorado. They're staying for a weekend. And then in May, that's when we're traveling to Colorado to actually see that same friend couple get married. Which, I have to tell you this story. This is such a crazy, fun, cute story about how they met. So this was our, I think it was second or third trip to Mexico. We decided, Jacob and I, to bring friends with us. And when we got there, our one friend, his name is Tanner, he met this girl and he comes up to us and he's like, guys, I have met the love of my life. She is amazing. I am going to marry this girl. I really, really like her. And of course we're like, oh, okay, yeah, he found this girl he really likes. But we're like, come on. He met this girl in Mexico. We all lived in Iowa at this time. This girl lived in, I believe, Idaho. We're like, yeah, okay. Not really thinking that it was going to work out. We thought it was just going to be like a vacation fling. But he ended up talking to her the entire time that we were there. And we were there for, I think it was like 4 or 5 days. He stuck with her. And after we came back from vacation, they were still talking with each other. And he ends up moving across the country and moves in with this girl in Idaho. And we thought he was just crazy at this point. But then we ended up meeting her, getting to know her a lot more, and she is just the sweetest. She's funny. I absolutely love her. I actually ended up making her one of my bridesmaids in my wedding. And then they moved together to Colorado, and they are getting married now. Isn't that crazy? All because we went on a trip in Mexico. Our friend group happened to be there. Her friend group happened to be there. The same resort at the same time, and that's how they met. That is insane. But I'm so happy for them. I cannot wait to see their wedding. I don't know if I already said it, but that's going to be at the end of May. So that's why Jacob and I are going to be flying to Colorado. We're going to see them get married. And then it's going to be kind of a mini vacation after that. We're going to be flying in on Friday. Their wedding is Saturday. And then we're flying back late Monday. So we're going to have a couple days after the wedding to just explore Colorado. We're going to do some hiking. I think we're actually staying at a cabin up in the mountains, so that will be super beautiful. So it's going to be a really fun trip. But it's just an insane story. Like, you hear stories like that happening, but how often does that actually happen to someone in your life? It's crazy. But speaking of events and celebrations, that kind of ties into the topic that I wanted to talk about today. If you are deciding to go on prep, or even just go on a diet, or just live a healthy lifestyle, there is never going to be a perfect set amount of months for you to do it. So you being able to have those habits to stick to your plan and get done what you need to get done throughout those social events that pop up in your life is what's going to actually make you successful. So when I decided to start my prep, I already knew about these people traveling, about where we were going to have to go, but I decided to do it anyway because, like I said, I could have easily have waited until after May to start prepping, but one, that really would have pushed me back. And two, I'm sure something else is going to pop up during that time. I know later this year, we're going to have to take some time to travel back to Iowa to see our family. So it's like, I might as well just buckle down and just freaking do it now. Like, I'm not going to sit there and wait for a perfect time because it's not going to come up. So, speaking of celebration and events, Jacob's birthday. So, his birthday was on March 25th. So, it landed on a Monday. So, we decided to celebrate it the weekend after. So, that was this last weekend. And we first started off by doing Tee It Up. Tee It Up is like a Topgolf, but it's better than Topgolf. Topgolf is one, way overpriced, and I don't like how they charge you per hour, especially because they offer food there, they offer drinks, so more than likely you're going to order some food and you're paying per hour, but you're having to stop and take time to eat, which is stupid because now you're paying to have time to eat. So it's a great business strategy, but it's ripping you off at the same time. I enjoy Tee It Up because you pay per like bucket of balls, so it's almost kind of like what do you call that? A golf range, but you get that simulator screen with it, so you can actually track your ball and like see how you're hitting. And plus it's BYOB, so you can bring your own drinks, you could bring your own food. So especially with me being on prep, I can bring whatever the heck I need with me, and people are not giving you like weird looks. So it ended up working out nice. So we did that for several hours. And then we went to a downtown area, and we went to a German restaurant. Jacob loves this German place. Like, it is authentic. You step into this place and you feel like you are just transported to Germany. They have a stage where they have someone playing an accordion. They have the big, what is that instrument? I want to say a didgeridoo, but I know that's not it because it has that little like curve at the end. It's on the Ricola commercial. Like the, the Ricola. It's that. They have that there. And so it's just a freaking vibe at this place. So if you're wanting good German food and you're wanting kind of like a party environment, it's a great place. So we were there for a couple of hours. Now, when we go out to eat and I'm on prep, I always look at the menu ahead of time because it's the worst thing to get to the restaurant, look at the menu, and figure out, shit, there is nothing here that I can have. And plus, if you are trying to track your macros and you're trying to get everything to fit perfectly, you need to plan ahead anyway. Because if you're going out to eat, it's going to be a lot easier for you to plug that meal in first and then create all of your meals, let me rephrase that, and then create all of your other meals around it. So then that way you can get everything to fit perfectly. Versus if you just leave yourself a set amount of calories and a set amount of macros, you're not going to be able to find a perfect meal to fit within those ranges. Like, it's not possible. And being on prep, you want to be as exact as possible, especially if you are short on time and you have a deadline where you want to get ready by this date. Being exact is going to be your best friend. And I realize there's going to become a point where I'm going to have to cut out these like restaurant meals, but I'm going to try to keep them in as long as it's not inhibiting my progress. Right now, I'm super early into prep. When I'm going out to a restaurant, I'm weighing, measuring everything out. I'm making it fit within my macros. But as time goes on, when I have to cut out those meals, it's not going to be a surprise. And yes, when that time comes, does it suck? But it just is what it is. I'm not cutting it out for like the rest of my life. I just know it's a short period in time that I have to cut out these restaurant meals. But anyway, that's way into the future. I don't have to worry about that right now. But when I actually am in the restaurant picking out a meal, I am looking for something that is just a simple meal. A meal that is simple is going to be easy to track in my macros. It's going to be easy to measure and weigh out, and it's not going to be a lot of confusion. So going to a different cultured restaurant does make that a little bit harder, because there's going to be stuff on the menu where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. So I have to be very particular about what I order. But I ended up finding this ham meal where it was like 2 chunks of smoked ham. So that was good because I knew it was smoked and not like fried or anything. And then there was some potatoes off to the side. So I'm like, awesome, that's a good carb. And then there was some like sauerkraut slaw thing off to the side. And Germans are huge with their sauerkraut, which is actually good because it's just like a vinegar base. So as long as they're not putting anything else with it, sauerkraut can be decently low calorie. Now, like I said before, hopefully that rain is not too loud on the microphone. It is a very rainy, stormy day here in Florida. We're actually supposed to get tornadoes. So fingers crossed that we don't get any tornadoes during this. But like I was saying, with it being a different culture of food, when I got my plate, I realized that the potatoes weren't just plain potatoes. It tastes like they almost added in applesauce with it, which sounds weird, but oddly enough, it was actually really good. I did have to go back and rearrange my macros just a little bit, so I ended up having a little less potatoes than I thought just because it did have that added applesauce in there, but I still made everything work. And when I go out to restaurants, when I'm wanting to be very exact, I will bring my food scale with me. Weighing out my food, it's not hurting anyone. It's not causing any issues. Yes, you can get some looks, especially with your friends that maybe who haven't seen you do this before or haven't seen you prep. It might be a little weird. They might ask some questions, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. Like when I step on stage, if I don't look my best, am I going to look back on those scenarios and be like, ugh, I really wish that I just would have freaking brought my scale and just would have ate the food that I needed to. I would much rather be exact and just stick to my freaking plan. So that was the meal and how I kind of handled everything. Now let's talk about drinks. Drinking alcohol while on prep. I think that is the biggest disservice and waste that you can do. 1, it's going to be empty calories, and 2, it just makes you feel like shit. It does your body no good. I would much rather take that extra 100, 200 calories and have some more freaking potatoes with applesauce. Like that would make me a lot more happy than having an alcoholic drink. So when I'm on prep, I just try to cut that out as much as possible. Now, when I'm in off season, I do like to enjoy a drink every once in a while. I'm not going to deny that, but it's not a huge priority of mine. And that kind of takes me into talking about energy and willpower during prep. When you're going through prep, it takes a lot of willpower, but you don't have willpower for separate issues in your life. The amount of willpower you have is just in one bucket. And from that one bucket, you need to pour it into those different areas. So what I mean by that, you have your willpower to stick to your plan. You have the willpower or energy, however you want to say it, to socialize with people, to put towards your marriage or your relationship, your willpower to be in different environments. And eventually, you're going to have to determine where you're going to put your willpower, because you're not going to be able to put all of that in every single category and give it your 100%. Especially when you are getting further and further into prep, you are going to be limited on your energy. You're going to be limited on your willpower. And you're going to have to make smart decisions on which of those categories you're going to pour that energy into. And I'm the type of person that I just do not enjoy bars. I don't enjoy being around people who are excessively drinking. Emphasis on the excessive part. If we're out and we're having casual drinks, we're at like a cocktail bar or at like a nice restaurant, totally fine. But if I am in an environment that is super packed, super busy, it's at a bar where people are just drinking and annoying, it's just the environment that does not mesh well with me. Like when I was in my college phase and I'd just turned 21, for 2 years, I was all about that. I liked the bars, I liked going out. I, didn't care if it was a messy college bar, but now that I'm 25, almost 26, I just don't care for that environment. And when I'm on prep, and like I said, I have a lower amount of energy and willpower, that's just not a bucket I want to pour it into. Now, I absolutely love Jacob. He wanted to be in that type of environment for his birthday. And I can't fault that, because if this is an event that happens once a year and that's what you want, then you go do that. But with the situation that I was in, I just knew that that is not where I wanted to pour my energy. So after the sit-down restaurant meal, we went out to a bar. They played one round of darts. And at that point, I was like, hey guys, I just cannot do this anymore. Peace, I am going home. I love you. I will come pick you up later if I need to. This is not the area I want to be in. And the older I get, the more I realize how important that is. Because if I want to show up and have a certain type of energy around people and be my best self, I need to be more particular about where I am pouring my energy. I don't want to just half-ass try to pour it in all these categories and then have all of them crumble. I would rather fully pour it into just a couple categories and be my best self within those times. So that means I'm going to have to start saying no to doing certain things, but that is okay. You don't always have to be a people pleaser and say yes to everything. Saying no and knowing when and where you're going to be your best self is going to help you show up and always be giving off good energy, to put it that way. So, long story short, that's why I don't like drinking. So after that, I ended up going home. It was 9:30, 10 o'clock, so I was tapped out. It was late for me. Anyway, ended up finishing the movie The Croods, which it's kind of like a Disney animated movie. I've never seen it before, but like low-key, that was kind of a good movie. Especially with like the visuals. If you are taking things, it's really awesome. Which that leads me to another topic. So everyone is all about drinking, but I feel like we're coming up to a day and age where that is really starting to evolve into other things. And I think that is a good thing. A lot of companies are coming out with like non-alcoholic drinks, or they're coming in with like enhanced drinks with either like Delta 8, THC, different types of mushrooms or elixirs, or what's that other stuff called? Kratom, but it's something similar to Kratom. Kava? Is that what it's called? That might just be a name of a place that like sells that stuff. There's a place in Winter Park that is a non-alcoholic bar that sells drinks with Kratom and like stuff like that. So anyway, that type of stuff is really starting to come around, and I think in the next couple of years that is going to become more of a popular thing to do than to drink. And that is actually way healthier for you. So if I'm wanting to go out or just relax and having a night in, taking those other things while on prep, it's not going to break your macros. You're not going over in calories, and plus it's not doing anything harmful to your bodily systems, and plus you wake up the next day and you feel so much better. I think that's a big reason why I've really toned down on the drinking. It's just because I hate how it feels the next day. I don't want to have a hangover, and I have a phobia of puking and seeing other people puke. And so I know like excessively drinking, that is where it usually leads. So that's why I would just rather do those other things. My husband is calling me. Hold on 1 second. Hello. Yeah, I'm recording a podcast. Yeah, I'm about done. Can I call you in like 5 minutes? Okay, love you, bye. Speaking of Jacob. But yes, I mean, that was basically all I wanted to talk about, was just knowing where to put your energy, how to balance your social life, just things like that. When you are trying to live a healthy lifestyle, you really have to take a step back and realize balancing the social life is more so on the social aspect of it and not the eating and the drinking with all of these people. Which at the same time, if you are truly friends or if you are truly close to this family member, it shouldn't be based around always eating and drinking. It should be based around just spending good quality time with them. So if you're having to remove those foods and remove those drinks and that social part of it is crumbling, then that really leads you to question the root value you had in that relationship. But that's just some food for thought. But anyway, that is going to wrap up today's podcast episode. If you enjoyed this, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. I put out videos every single Monday. Leave a comment down below of topics you want me to talk about next time. But thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Listen to me as I slow